Imagine being part of a team that's about to land a spacecraft on Mars for the first time ever. A full-scale model of the landing platform was built in Italy to test its landing legs, which deploy in just 1 second. These legs are crucial for a safe touchdown on Mars and have backup systems in case something goes wrong. Engineers tested them thoroughly, but the actuators still didn't work as planned in several tests. The European Space Agency and Roscosmos teams are working hard to fix the problem before the actual mission in 2030. They're racing against time to get it right because landing on Mars is one of the most challenging tasks in space exploration. Imagine a spacecraft flying through space, using another planet's gravity to speed up its journey. NASA's Psyche mission did just that on May 15th when it flew 4,500 kilometers above Mars. This technique is called gravity assist and makes long journeys more efficient. The teams behind the ESA's Mars Express and Psyche worked together weeks in advance to plan their observation schedules. They exchanged trajectories and timelines so everything would go smoothly. Scientists now have 2 sets of images showing part of Noche's Terra, one of the oldest parts of Mars' surface. The craters are filled with sand dunes, creating a unique landscape. These coordinated observations will help scientists adjust Psyche's camera by comparing brightness and color in each image pixel. Imagine being part of a team that's changing the way we explore space and access the internet. SpaceX just made history by releasing its first-ever earnings report. It was a huge success, beating Wall Street expectations with $7.8 billion in revenue. That's 50% more than last year. The company's Starlink satellite internet service is also taking off, with over 1 million subscribers worldwide. This is one of the fastest-growing services ever. Even though SpaceX lost $541 million, it was a big improvement from last year's loss of $1 billion. The company's launch services and Starship program are doing well too, with many successful missions and test flights completed this quarter. And that's not all. The future looks brighter than ever for SpaceX. Europe's Ariane 6 rocket is blasting off like never before. The new design can deliver different types of missions to all kinds of orbits. It has more fuel than ever, which means it can carry heavier loads and travel farther than before. Each booster now has 14 tons more propellant, making it 10% to 15% better. This boost lets the rocket carry 4 more satellites on each launch than before. The technology is also shared with another European rocket called Vega-C, making it easier and cheaper to build and maintain. On one amazing launch, a record-breaking 36 satellites were placed into orbit. Imagine being able to travel to space and back again in just hours. That's what SpaceX is working towards with its reusable Starship spacecraft. But there's one major problem: the heat shield. The heat shield has 18,000 tiny ceramic tiles that protect it from extreme temperatures during re-entry into Earth's atmosphere. If they get it right, Starship could be refurbished in just hours, not days or weeks like other spacecraft. SpaceX is testing and simulating different designs to find the perfect heat shield. They're even studying the old NASA Space Shuttle program for clues. After months of hard work, researchers are finally making progress on solving this critical problem. The future of space travel just got a little bit brighter. Imagine being on a planet where the ground stretches out as far as you can see and is covered in red dust. The European Space Agency's Mars Express spacecraft has been taking pictures of this Martian landscape since 2003. One picture shows a huge crater called Kaiser Crater, but what makes it really cool are the dark waves that look like metal carvings. These aren't made of metal, though. They're actually giant sand dunes formed by strong winds. The winds on Mars are incredibly powerful because there's hardly any air and the pressure is low. Some of these massive dunes reach heights of over 100 meters above the surrounding terrain, making them some of the biggest in our solar system. Scientists sent a special machine called a rover to Mars to dig into the planet's surface. The rover had a very important tool called a drill that needed to be just right for it to work properly. Engineers tested and fixed the drill many times before sending it to space. They even looked at how other rovers, like NASA's Phoenix lander, dug up ice on Mars. But when the rover tried to dig into Martian rock, it didn't go well. It got stuck with nothing but air inside. The team didn't give up. They used what they learned from the mistake to make the drill better and try again. And finally, after several attempts, the rover was able to collect some really interesting samples that helped scientists understand Mars' past. Imagine looking through a window into space that's 11 million light-years away. That's how far Centaurus A is from Earth. Now we can see it like never before thanks to the James Webb Space Telescope. This powerful telescope shows secrets about this galaxy that were hidden for centuries. It uses special vision to look through thick dust and reveals a beautiful pattern of individual stars. Centaurus A has a huge black hole at its center and is very active. Scientists are excited to study it because it's like a lab where they can learn about galaxies and their black holes. This galaxy had a wild past, colliding with another one 2 billion years ago. The James Webb Space Telescope gives us an amazing view of this cosmic neighbor. Get ready for a space mission that's about to change our understanding of the planet. 2 new Earth-observing satellites have just arrived at Europe's Spaceport in Kourou, French Guiana. These satellites are on a mission to help us understand Earth's ecosystems and track climate change. FLEX will map global vegetation with incredible accuracy, measuring photosynthetic activity in tiny squares of 300 meters by 300 meters. Sentinel-3C will monitor oceans, land ice, and atmosphere, helping us predict ocean weather forecasting. The satellites are part of a big program called Copernicus, which aims to provide accurate data on Earth's environment. They'll soar 700 kilometers above the Earth's surface. Imagine a powerful rocket soaring through the sky, carrying dozens of satellites into orbit. This is no ordinary rocket, it's Ariane 6, Europe's newest heavy-lift launcher. La Poste has just issued a special stamp collection to celebrate this achievement. The story of Ariane began over 5 decades ago with the ESA's ambitious space program in the 1970s. Since then, many rockets have taken flight from Europe's Spaceport in French Guiana. Each new generation of Ariane has been improved and updated, making them more capable and reliable. Ariane 6 is a major milestone, providing access to space for governments and companies alike. It comes in 2 versions, Ariane 62 and Ariane 64, designed for different types of missions. On June 17th, the Ariane 6 flew on its mission VA-269, launching an impressive 36 satellites into space for Amazon's internet service. Imagine launching 12 satellites into space at the same time. It's like a cosmic game of precision timing. The Ariane 6 mission took years to plan and perfect. Teams worked around the clock to design the advanced boosters that would provide the necessary thrust to propel the satellites into orbit. The European Space Agency, the ESA, invested heavily in the project, aiming for a reliable and efficient launch system. Despite budget constraints and technological setbacks, the team persevered, driven by their vision of creating a new launch vehicle. On October 25, 2022, the Ariane 6 rocket blasted off from the Guiana Space Center in French Guiana, successfully launching its first batch of satellites into orbit. Imagine being able to see the universe through sound. That's what the European Space Agency's Expedition Sound podcast series is all about. Host ZS Vaishalav Rai takes listeners on a journey from our sun at the center of our solar system. The sun is 93 million miles away and gets 3.8 billion megawatts of energy from its nuclear reactions every second. Along the way, she meets experts who share their knowledge. In Episode 1, we explore the sun using sonifications from the Solar Orbiter mission. Project scientist Miho Janvier explains the findings, while blind astronomer Nick Bond shares how sonifications help him see the sun in a new way. Tomorrow morning, a rare solar eclipse will start in northern Spain at 10:00 a.m. CEST. The moon's shadow will move across the country from the Pyrenees Mountains to the Atlantic coast. This path goes through big cities like Madrid and Bilbao. Many people are excited to see this event because it only happens every few years. In fact, this is just the 3rd total solar eclipse visible in Spain since 1999. The European Space Agency has been preparing for weeks to capture great footage of the eclipse. They have teams at special locations set up with cameras and live streaming equipment. Scientists from other research centers are also studying the sun's outer layer and how the eclipse affects Earth's magnetic field. The European Space Agency's Euclid mission has been orbiting Earth for over 2 years. It was designed to study dark matter and dark energy, but it found something amazing instead. The mission created a huge map of how stars are born and die. This map is thousands of light years wide and shows the life cycle of stars in our galaxy. But what's really cool is that hidden inside this big picture are thousands of planets that we can't see with our eyes. Scientists used special tools to detect these invisible worlds by looking at tiny changes in starlight as they pass each other. They even figured out how heavy some of these planets are. This discovery has given us a new way to learn about the secrets of our galaxy, and it's helped us find things that were hiding right before our eyes. The James Webb Space Telescope is exploring a huge area called the Carina Nebula. It's 7,500 light-years away from us, which means that if we were to send a message to them today, it would take 7,500 years for them to get here. The nebula is really big, about 260 light-years across. That's like flying around the Earth over 100 million times. Inside the Carina Nebula, there are tens of thousands of young stars called protostars. These protostars will grow up to be huge stars that can be hundreds or even thousands of times bigger than our own sun. Scientists think this nebula is similar to how the universe was billions of years ago, so they're studying it to learn more about how galaxies and stars are made.